Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
What's up, Buzz Squad? It's your boy Dalton, back at it again. And today, I got Brody.
Hi, what's up?
God, what are we talking? No, we always know what this means. Are we?
Hey, Dalton, you already talk about overdress? More like underdressed.
I need to get in contact with my manager. Oh, Christ. Yeah, so that's a thing. But yeah, we're going to be talking about overdress, you know, the not reboot of Vanguard, because, of course, it happened again. So, give us a little brief description of overdress. Like what's coming in with it? Like what's happening here?
All right, so first,
smack the table.
all right, so first thing, before the people who have been living under a rock, that's fine.
Got it, Jacob.
So the big thing change here is that no longer is Vanguard using clan-based units, but now we're using nation-based units. Kind of similar to what we saw with the Zereth Dragons, except for the main deck.
Okay. Kind of going more, rest in peace, buddy fight with it.
Oh, yikes. Too soon.
It is too soon.
But the big changes from here is that obviously a lot of them have been sticking together. But the major end changes outside of the name changes is going to be that Zoo and the Aquaforce Grand Blue have joined together under one nation now.
Okay.
Stoichia, please butcher me in the comments below because I know I butchered that.
Please leave the correct pronunciation down below. That would be much obliged. Much obliged.
But then United Sanctuary changed their name to Keter Sanctuary. Then we have Dark States, which was Dark Gates before.
Okay.
Stargate became Brantgate because Brant is their leader.
Sure. All right.
Dragon Empire was like, yo, we don't need a name change. We're good.
That's what happens when you're the oldest in the book, man.
And then Bermuda went off and became its own thing with the crossover sets.
So it's a crossover now? I guess?
Big thunk.
Wait, does that mean you can mix Bermudas and Touken Ranbu?
Oh, dear God, no. But let's forbid this.
I'm just saying, if it's nation-based, you know.
No, let's forbid this conversation from ever happening.
Come on, I think it'd be pretty neat using those cards together, you know?
Man, I don't need samurai mermaids. Let's not talk about this.
But the table is our friend. I know we slap our cards down on them, you know? Especially after we order them through TCG Player, affiliate code down below. That was so cringy. My bad. But yeah, all right. So nations changes, but nations, no clans within the nations. Okay. There probably will be clans, but that's probably for later when we get more information.
Yes. So another big thing is, so now Vanguard is now split into 3 formats. So we have
Premium.
And we have Primo, which is the eternal format. Commander.
That's not how that works, but okay.
Then we have D standard, which you can only use the new overdress cards. And you have V premium,
which is just V standard.
Which you can use the new clan selection cards that we're supposedly getting 2 sets every year until they get sick of it.
Got it. So no, let's not roast Bushi right now. Yeah, but there was one thing that I saw that was pretty interesting. For D standard, there's a ride deck.
Yeah, so the biggest complaint people were saying was the biggest downfall was never opening your ideal ride chain and honestly losing to RNG where you're like, oh, I have all these grade 1s. I'm going to put, 4 of them back to potentially draw into zeros and other grade 1s.
So you mean people hated the mechanics of a card game?
More like people...
RNG's part of the game, people. Like, why be so picky?
Hey,
Like, I understand why they did the ride deck, but also, that's the point.
yes. Okay, so for
That's the
people
point.
who don't know who Ride the Deck is, so now it's 4 cards that you put aside in different sleeves, and you put a grade 0, a grade 1, a grade 2, and a grade 3, as of this current moment, to guarantee yourself a promotion ride at the start of your turn by discarding a single card from your hand, as if you were riding from hand. These
Yeah.
4 cards do count towards your 50 card deck limit. I'm
Okay.
really ready for degenerate stuff to come up with this.
Okay.
On top of that,
That's gonna be interesting.
that is
Really interesting, because then you don't need multiples of them unless you want to do not overriding, but whatever it's called.
break riding.
Yeah, kind of, maybe, somewhat. I
Similar.
don't think it's break riding, but similar to that, where you're rewriting the same unit to hopefully get more effects. But that's kind of interesting, because it's basically going to turn into a 46 card deck that's everything else otherwise.
Yeah, that's literally everything. So that's actually gonna be really nice. At least in D standard. However, V premium and premium will not be allowed this. Because do you imagine how degenerate this would be when you're playing Riviera, right?
Okay.
Riviera just literally go first. They go, I'm going to play my grade 1, and this grade 1 is going to search my grade 1 Riviera straight from deck, and you're just going to keep infinitely stacking, and then by your opponent's sitting on grade 2 ride, you've already strode already.
Yeah, that's
Imagine you could do that every single game.
No, let's say we did and don't. That sounds fair enough to me. Yeah, that would be busted. Even though I think the ride deck shouldn't exist anyways, but more
be seen.
power to him. More power to him. We'll see how it works out. All
All right, so speaking of the main deck, so let's go ahead and talk about the new iconic card that makes Overdress. So we're going to be talking about the Over Trigger.
Over trigger?
Yeah, so
So it's a trigger,
yes,
but over?
overpowered, more like it.
Oh gosh, what is it, like 1,000,000 power or something like that?
Actually, yes.
Oh gosh.
Actually, it's 100 million, but close enough.
Fair enough. Well, at least how many copies can you have in a deck?
Well, you can only have a single one.
Okay.
But with
Okay.
the 5 nations, you have 5 different effects. You have a defensive effect, and you have a offensive effect.
Cute.
So far, the one that I've
cute.
seen on damage check, you give a unit 10 or 100 million power and nullify the damage.
Huh?
There you go. Oh, nice 6 damage over trigger. Yeah, no, I'm not going to 6, not today.
What?
Oh, yes.
That's okay. Oh. All right, I guess so. That's How could you build a deck to stack it?
Oh, that's easy. So in premium, there's a card called.
I was talking about for D standard. I don't want to go that.
Well, I can't put an Ultima meme here, right? Just Ultima stacks, trigger on top. You just win.
Nah, we don't need all that. What else? What does the offensive one do?
So the offensive one is not only does it give a unit 100 million power, it also gives a second unit 100 million power.
That's cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. I don't think it's as busted as the defensive one, but still cute.
No, it's very cute, especially when you're like,
It doesn't give crit at all, just the power.
no, it's just power. I mean, if you have a PG, more power to you, but
Yeah.
I would hate to be on the receiving end of a hand that doesn't exist.
Fair enough. All right, what else are they bringing in, or is that kind of the gist of it? Like for the new things that they're bringing in?
For mechanics wise, that's kind of really it.
Okay.
But now I kind of want to go into the rarity bomb. So no longer do we have SVRs and VRs and AR or ASRs and other are rarities that are
What
triple,
the heck is
double,
an
rare.
ASR? What is an ASR?
That's another secret rare.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, to be fair, they have some of the best secret rarities. They brought back Dragonic Descendant as his original Triumphant of the King's artwork. And it was actually very, very pretty.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, as of this time recording, he's like $250, and I'm not forking over $250 for 4 copies.
That's fair. But how does that relate to Overdressed?
Oh, so secret. so now they're taking a step back, and they're doing something kind of similar to Magic or something similar to Dragon Ball. So now you have triple rare, double rare, rare, and common. However, of those 4 rarities, now you have a chance of getting a foil of said rarity.
So let's take this back real quick, right?
Yes.
So I can understand the comparison to Magic for the whole foil thing. Not so much for Super. Also, Super has secret rares, but that's besides the point. But they're taking away the foiling for triple rares and double rares?
So I can't...
Or what? Because that doesn't make sense. How can you still get a foil of a foil unless you take away the foil?
Hey, this is just information that was included in the English product stream.
All right.
So maybe there's gonna be like a special foil rare or something like that. I mean, the double rares and the rares and stuff.
Okay, got it. It's
Could
gonna be
be
like an SVR type situation. Got you.
Could be, but hey, now the people that want to play a max ready bling deck can go, I have money. Here you go.
Yep. Max Rarity is nice sometimes.
Max ready is nice.
Sometimes.
Again, we talked about the format changes, the red decks. Mm-hmm. So now the other mechanic that's been revealed so far has been, like a mini break ride is coming back. So you're very familiar with the older Vanguard and Persona Riding, where you discard a copy of the unit. However, now they're changing it, so it's still called Persona Ride. However, when you ride a unit with the same name on the top of a unit, that unit is going to gain 10,000 power. And then usually gets a bonus effect.
Probably depending on nation.
Not necessarily nation. So it could be based on nation. So far they released the grade 3, whose name is yet to be revealed yet. But he's gonna give 10,000 power to the entire front row, and you draw a card.
Yeah, it kind of replaces itself. That's cool.
So
Can't argue.
yeah, it's kind of neat.
Still kind of incentivizing you to play copies of it in your deck, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Now, and the other thing that they're going to do is they've already confirmed order cards. So that's something that they're bringing back from V, which is interesting.
The spells, right.
Which, in my personal opinion, was something that they didn't really touch on until way later on. And I'm kind of glad that they're bringing this back. I felt like there was so much untapped potential with these order cards, and there were so many things that you could do. So I'm kind of glad that Vanguard is bringing this back.
Yeah, it could be something interesting, especially maybe making it a little bit more interactive. But I don't know. I don't know how bad that would hurt the game or better the game. It could destroy the game and make it horrible because people can now interact with you, or it makes it more interesting. Who knows? But yeah. Be cool.
I wouldn't mind having some interactions during my opponent's turn. Maybe not necessarily like complete, like you're not going to do anything type mechanics, but something like maybe like a small buff or something to help you.
Right. That's exactly kind of what I was going with it. Otherwise, or just we're just going to nullify that call. I like that.
That would be pretty nice. Another big thing I want to touch on before we start giving our general opinions on what we think so far and what we expect the game to go on from here is that the first key unit that they revealed is not only is he a grade 3, but he's still 13k power. So it's like there's still using the...
So it's kind of like they rebooted the game, but they weren't going to reboot the starting power levels. They want to still keep it the same and hopefully not overpower creep the game completely.
Exactly.
Is that what I'm getting? All right. That's nice. Because because otherwise then you'd go right back into the same issue of, well, we power crept the game out of existence again. But, should be neat.
R&D department.
Hey, whoa. But, yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
So now, I want to get into this discussion of what do you think of the information revealed so far? I kind of want to get your 2 cents worth.
Oh, my 2 cents? Well, when you initially told me about it, not gonna lie, I'm like, cool, guess I'm not gonna play Vanguard anymore. That's not true. I'll probably still mess around with it. At least V Premium. Are we still gonna call it V Standard?
So what I'm going to personally call it's going to be D Standard and V Standard.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll probably still play V Standard, I probably won't dabble with Premium. Premium, like, that just sounds like a mess. Who knows? Maybe I'll dabble in D Standard. Who knows? It sounds interesting, but I don't know. Maybe it makes it too fast, or it makes it less intriguing.
I don't know.
Because I don't know how... Because if everything's... Because you no longer have the clans, I wonder how... Not in a sense broken, but like... How dumb decks could get then. Because of certain units. If they reprint certain units that are okay in their deck, but they would have been broken if they would have been in this clan that's in the same nation already. Like how that could potentially warp the game.
Potentially, who knows? So the thing that they were already mentioned was that in the beginning of the set, we are getting 1 set, and we are getting 5 child decks, 1 from each of the nations.
Okay.
They had mentioned something about being able to create a deck within these nations and being able to possibly create a second deck. Now, I don't know if these decks are going to be have intersplashable cards between these like rapid decks, if there's going to be a correct way to build them. But the thing I did notice that they're still keeping with front triggers versus stand triggers. Even though...
To be fair, stand triggers are kind of... in certain decks, they were kind of,
They were kind of bad, but, even with...
But it also... Because stand triggers also took away from certain clans and so forth. Which now is going to be interesting how Novas and stuff, even though they don't exist in D, are going to go about... I don't know, we might have issues now. I can't play Novas.
No!
But, no, I think front triggers are probably the best one to go with. I think it's probably, because it's great defensively and great offensively, I think it's the right balance. Versus stands, because you don't have that versatility as well.
All right, so I'm going to give my 2 cents here. I've been playing the game since Triumph of the Kings, so I've been with Vanguard for some time now, and I didn't really start getting into it until mid-G, but I did follow the game, and I picked up a trial deck or 2 here and there.
Okay.
And I had my own small little collection that I got from mystery packs that were sold at Walmart for like $3. I got some really cool old PGs. They were pretty nice.
Cool.
But no, with the announcement of Overdress, I immediately thought that the game was over. Reboot was happening. It's going to happen again. And then as we got information, I kind of like toned it back. I don't feel like they're going to reboot the game. I feel like the new R&D department is going to do their job properly this time, hopefully. And
Even though this is a reboot.
Yes. With the same team doing the clan selections that we're getting twice a year now. And some of the units that we've seen thus far, they don't seem too terribly broken compared to the last 2 sets or 3 sets of V Standard. And I kind of want to see more of this in Overdress, because I feel like even with these broken triggers, I feel like it could be manageable in a sense, especially since these Overdress triggers do have 50k shields. So it's not like they're leaving you on a plateau of, oh, I get this trigger, I die. But, you could be on, death's door, and one trigger could swing the outcome of a match, potentially in your favor.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're trying to do when you create something that, in a sense, can be very warping for a game. So it should be interesting how it ends up playing out, and then if they are going to stick with the same triggers or same cards, or introduce new ones and kind of see how that plays out.
Man, I would love to see new units, especially since Stoichia, where Aqua Forest and Great Nature and Granblue kind of all like amalgamized into one nation now under the Sage. And I think that'd be really cool just to touch base on, and seeing what kind of like dynamics they bring to the table with this.
Kind of a weird combination, but I can see how it works, you know? No, I can't. You got, like, because you have, what is it? I don't even remember. But Great Nature, which is scholared animals. Then you have sailors, for a lack of a better term. Or, more naval people. And then undead pirates. Kind of seems like a very awkward mix and match.
To a point, I agree with you 100%. At the same time, I don't really disagree, or I disagree too. When you think about it in hindsight, you're like pirates, like naval fleet, animals. You're like, there's not really anything. But in terms of like actual like functionality, the decks aren't that bad. So in terms of Great Nature, they like retiring their own units. Well, hey, I'm Granblue. I'm gonna play from the drop zone.
Right. I see that, but that also comes into what my point earlier about, will it break decks because of these things now or whatever, you know? Oh, I'm just going to pop this unit. Oh, I'm just going to play this unit, you know? What I was kind of going with earlier. And then obviously Aquaforce being order of attacks and then where I attack at and so forth and so on.
I think that could be cool, just to like attack, like retire your unit, call it back, do a different attack, and like keep repeating the cycle of managing your number of attacks and stuff like that.
This sounds very bad, and I think you're breaking this this nation. This nation sounds like it's going to be the end-all, be-all, and no one's going to play anything else. That's what it sounds like, you know. We could be wrong. We could be wrong. It could be like completely different. It could be completely different.
I'm kind of hoping big things for Stoichia because as a Great Nature player myself, I love my Cran Tigers and the multi-attacks. I'm very heavy on Night Rose. We've seen that video, and
yeah,
I love my Pirate Bay. But I never really got into like the Aqua Force mechanic. I did play Blue Waves and Tetra Drive at one point when they were meta relevant. I also remember having that 500 deck stolen from me. But I never really got behind the clan. So maybe bringing these nations together and getting like this conglomerate of like ideas of mechanics that could work together, I feel like could really work. Especially like let's even talk about Dragon Empire. So Dragon Empire always had the two ninja clans that were very similar in like playstyles.
Right. Now they're together, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
But like Narukami was like all about binding their stuff like later on. And like the older versions of Nubatama were all about binding cards. So I feel like that could be like a touch based kind of thing that they could do together.
Right.
So I could see something like that going on. Obviously I can't think of anything else at the top of my head for like the other nations.
Well, it'd be pretty cool to see what ends up happening, you know, seeing if they go with a bunch of different kind of mechanics for each nation because of all the clans they put into them and just kind of see how it flows, or they just say, nah, they all do one thing only type situation. But, you know, at least you can play Royals and Shadows together without it being specialized because of a card.
Hey, you're right. And that's going to be really nice and premium, too. Dalton's expression.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, let's go into a little discussion about what you want the game to, or what you expect the game to have, or like a generalized opinion, what you think the game should do or have going forward.
Well, it's very simple for me. Novas, Dark Irregulars, if it would be like a name archetype, obviously, type situation. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I care about. It's the only two clans that I play in V Standard, so as long as I have some type of feel for those still there, who knows?
So you want multi-attack boys and edgy boys.
Sure, take it that way.
Cool, thumbs up. I think that the big thing I'm looking at of Overdress and what I hope they achieve is, I know that they said they're going to bring new units and stuff like that, and this is 3,000 years in the future. I don't want them to necessarily bring entire like archetypes back. Specifically, I mean, I'm not a
well, obviously, it doesn't have to be like
full on
but like it could
legacy
be like
archetypes bring back. I'm okay with like new ones, but if they bring back like small iconic units, it's like, with like a general feeling, or like a generalized effect, not necessarily, oh, I'm gonna play Blaster Blade in Keter Sanctuary because it works with all my other Blaster Blade related cards. No.
Like I could see kind of like what the back when Buddy Fight was still a thing, and with basically with Dragon World and Star Dragon World, where Star Dragon World was supposed to be Dragon World in the future. So I could see something like that where like the archetypes change and evolve due to the time. So, you know, so let's say instead of Royals and Shadow Paladins, they end up becoming like Cyber Paladins. Like they become one thing and like go from there. Or even like
even
pirates turn into... No, those are still pirates, dang it.
Pirates, more pirates.
Exactly. Can't really go much further. And then robots, more futuristic robots.
Wait, can you make a futuristic robot? Isn't it just a robot at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's a very tricky situation. it only really works for the Royals and Shadow Paladins, I'm not going to lie.
Wait, hear me out. Ninjas, robots.
Jinzo? Sorry, Yu-yu came out of me.
That's sad. I'm just imagining Jinzo with like a ninja hood, just no trap cards.
Hey, who says he needs a hood though? You know, he's pretty ninja-like.
Man, I don't want to see a ninja brain. I'm gonna have nightmares. Thanks, Dalton.
No problem. But yeah, it should be fun to see what kind of happens. Hopefully, you know, they take it down the right path. Don't go crazy. Don't all of a sudden be like, well, it's time to start increasing the power level, and then go, oops, we went 18 steps too fast.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take it nice and slow and like kind of can flesh everything out, make sure like you have a few different strategies for each nation, and like flesh them out well enough to where you can have a few different versions of them. Mm-hmm. You know, really make it interesting, cool, and I still kind of want more cross-play, a little more playing on each other's turns type deal.
Nothing
really super crazy, but a little bit more.
A little more back and forth versus...
Right, versus
I'm going to play grade 3 and you die on that turn.
Right. But, you know, it should be a interesting time, you know? It's nothing crazy, I feel like, but it will be fun to see what ends up happening. You know, if it crashes and burns and that's the end of Vanguard, that will suck, but...
Hey, they still have V standard.
We'll see. But yeah, any final thoughts from you?
Like, no, I think the real big thing is I was like archetype. I'm cool with new archetypes. I think the idea what you touched back about like
Cyber Paladins.
Yeah, so it's just like not even like iconic units, but like the idea of like
how certain clans
like will meld together,
evolve into something different. Yeah.
I think that'd be a really cool idea.
It would be really cool. It's just going to be really tough for like some of them because they're like, some of them are very futuristic already. You know, robots.
I mean, we had robots.
Future robots.
Future aliens.
Robot aliens.
Big brain.
But yeah, it's kind of our thoughts on that, right? Nothing else more to add. I know I didn't really talk that much, but I felt like I still gave some solid things out there, you know?
I don't know. I think still Zenith Peak is sitting there with his over trigger on the top of the deck. I think Prima's going to be an interesting time. But again, you said you were like, I'm probably not going to change Prima. You don't even have to play top tier decks. There are so many cool, iconic...
Well, then how am I supposed to go to tournaments if I'm not going to play a top tier deck?
Don't play a top tier deck. Play something memey. Play like...
No, that's not how that works. You got to play top tier. You got to play meta. That's why it's meta.
Nah, man. I'm going to play Chain Ranker, Phantom Blaster Dragon. I'm going to play the OG one, the bad one.
And with that, if you stayed until the very end of this video, which is got kind of weird towards the end there, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell so you never miss out on another video. We're not going to ask anything else from Brody because I feel like he'll go on another tangent of weirdness. If you'd like to support us, we do have an affiliate code for TCG Player, and we do have a Patreon. If you'd like to, links are down below. And above all else, stay classy, y'all.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.